Okay, we are starting a new segment where we are going to be breaking down and reacting to every Celtics playoff game. I'm here with Brady.
How's it going?
And the Celtics just beat the Heat in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals, 114-94. Absolutely killed them on the home court. It was a great start to the playoffs. Brady, what were your initial reactions to the game?
I mean, it was as expected. I mean, no Jimmy Butler, so obvious advantage there. And we just came out firing. 3-pointers. I think we shot 14 in the first quarter, which was crazy even for our standards. And we were hitting them too, so nothing to worry about there. I mean, I think we shot 45% from 3 on the day compared to the Heat's, what does that say? 32%. We also shot 12 more than them. So I think that's very telling of our strategy and game plan going into the game. And I think we should keep attacking like that until it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think Celtics just overwhelmed the Heat. I think Celtics are clearly the most talented team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And when you're going up against a team like the Heat, who doesn't have their best player and just does not have the firepower to compete with the Boston Celtics, when one team is playing Duncan Robinson and the other team is matching up him with Derek White, like those are just two different level of basketball players at the end of the day. And when you have matchups like that, the Heat are just have no chance. And the Celtics just came out and killed them. It was, 20-point game at the end, but it was a 30-point game at times. And I just, you have some points you want to talk about because, I'm more worried about what they look like against the better teams.
Yeah.
And with some points you want to talk about.
So, I obviously, as you see, a 20-point win was 30 at one point, which is kind of what I want to talk about. I felt like towards the end of the game, they just started getting lazy. They were like, oh, we already got this one, like, game's over.
Yeah.
And the Heat, I mean, they started to climb back a little bit. Wasn't much, but I think that just showed that if we come out flat and lazy and not on our A game, teams can easily compete with us and stay with us. Even teams like the Heat, if the game was like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad habit. It's definitely a bad habit the Celtics have had, which is letting go of the rope. Famously, if you were watching Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2022, that game the Celtics won, they almost blew it, and it was one of the biggest collapses in sports history almost, because it was like a 10-point lead with 90 seconds to go, and Jimmy Butler almost put him ahead. So it's kind of a habit, but this team has increased the margin for error because of how much more talented they are. So they're able to make more of those mistakes because they're up by so much more now, because they're so much better, and they know that they can. I mean, this team goes on it takes 2 minutes, goes on an 8-0 run, the game's over. They're up by 4, starting to let go of the rope, and then the game's just over. It's unlike everything I've ever seen, but they can't be doing that consistently more in the playoffs because the games get harder to win, as you said.
Yeah, exactly. We need a great 4 quarters, not a great 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very important, especially for the Celtics teams, to stay consistent. Anything else you want to discuss there?
No thoughts. I think same game plan going into Game 2, and there should be a clean 4-0 sweep.
I think Celtics win in 5. I think Miami gets Game 3 probably, coming out firing. But I think Celtics win in 5. And I think this should be very all around, so everyone kind of spreads the wealth. Porzingis, Tatum, Brown. First game, Tatum with 23, Brown with 18, Porzingis with 17, Derek White with 20, I believe. Or did they have 20?
Yeah.
What did Derek White
I think he had 20. He had 20.
Let me just so I know real quick. Yeah, okay. So Tatum 23, Porzingis 18. Derek White 20, Jaylen Brown 17. Just a nice spread attack from the best players. And, don't put too much pressure on any of these guys because you don't want to fatigue them out. When you get to the Knicks, maybe play the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, you got to be fully healthy for them. And whoever we run into in the finals, got to make sure you're fully healthy. You can't put too much pressure on the main guys, especially 1 or 2 guys this early on when you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would say.
I'd like to add one more thing. I'd like to give some notice to Peyton Pritchard off the bench with a +19 plus-minus in Game 1. He's been a great contributor the whole season, just doing his part, never makes a bad play. Same with Derek White, and I think Pritchard's going to be a very big X factor when we come to play the harder teams in the next couple rounds.
And last thing I want to add is Porzingis showing out as he has all year long, just unlocking the Celtics offense and bringing it to a spot that is just unreal, unprecedented. It's one of the greatest teams ever. and I think he'll be remembered as such. And he just is one of the reasons why 7'3" unicorn, doing the things he did to Bam, step back three, unbelievable. Like he's crazy. Just and the big three, him, Tatum, and Brown, looking great. I give this A+ game. I say we rate every game. I give this A+ first rating.
Yeah, I'll give it an A. I think we can do a little better.
Okay. So A+, A. Yeah, that's what we have to say about the Celtics after the first game. 1-0, feeling good. Okay, coming back, part 2 of this video. We just finished watching Nuggets, Lakers, and Brady. Just recap the game real quick. I'm gonna throw on some music. Absolutely insane game. We're gonna talk about it, Brady.
Great game. I was unable to watch the first 42 minutes of the game, but the last 6 minutes that I watched was just some of the best basketball I've ever witnessed. There were just crazy plays, back and forth, big shots, and there was a point where, for a good stretch of about 5 minutes, any team could have won that game. And looking in the future games of the series, I think Game 3 and 4 still very promising for the Lakers. I mean, they played the Nuggets very close tonight at home in Game 2. Kind of a must-win game. Not a must-win game for the Lakers, but one they would have liked to have going into a home court.
Yeah.
But I think I still got faith in them. I think they could win one, if not two, at home and tie up the series.
Honestly, I think that was, first of all, to add on to what Brady said, that was one of the most insane playoff endings that I've ever seen. I watched a little bit of the game at the start and just watched the last part of the game. Jokic and LeBron were going back and forth. LeBron had an insane poster dunk, and then Michael Porter Jr. hit a 3 to tie it right after that. If you missed that, that probably would have ended the game. Jokic is just getting every single shot he wants. He's so dominant. He had 27, 20, and 6. He gets 2 out of 3 of those jump hooks. No one can stop him to get to his spot, and he's so accurate with that. And if he gets double, he'll make the right plays. Unstoppable. And this game was so fun to watch. I think the Lakers needed to win that because I think they needed to steal that game, and it's probably over now. I think that was probably their best chance of winning the series, and they probably know it. And they'll probably get the first one in LA, but that was a tough one to lose because they could have stolen home court right there. Yeah, and if Michael Porter Jr. misses that 3, they probably do. Jamal Murray, got to talk about him. I mean, unbelievable. Him and Jokic, that 2-man game is just, it's probably the most unstoppable action in the NBA right now. And has been the last 2 years is a Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic high pick and roll. So, anything you have to add?
I think Murray is he's just doing what he does in the playoffs. He finds that new level, and that's as a Celtics fan, that's something I'm worried about if we were to make it to the finals and face them. But can't worry about that right now. And I think both teams in the series look very good, and I'm excited to see how Game 3 turns out.
Yeah, I would probably say the Lakers get Game 3, like I said, but yeah, I think Nuggets move on, and we'll see how the rest of the playoffs go. Do you think anyone in the West has any shot at knocking them off? I think a couple teams could, but what do you think?
After Game 1, Timberwolves came out red hot. I think.
Do you think it's just a collision course, Celtics Nuggets this year? That's what it looks like right now, and it's what it looks like. That's what it's looked like the past couple of months. But I could very well see the Nuggets getting knocked off. I can't see the Celtics getting knocked off. I think they're too good for the East.
I agree. I think the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and I mean, I know they got blown out Game 1, but I still like the Mavericks a lot.
So the Mavericks, Timberwolves, and who else to beat the Nuggets? Anyone else you think good, or just the Mavs and Timberwolves?
Mavs and Timberwolves. Yeah. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our recap of Game 1 of the Celtics versus Heat series. We're gonna recap every single Celtics game, and we just talked a little bit about the Nuggets versus Lakers game, which was insane, and the playoff picture as a whole. We'll be back soon after next Celtics game.